basically, I just wanted to go through some of the code that I was seeing on Twitter just to talk about the pertinent underlying nature of it, which I think is important. Because at the end of the day, these people have learned nothing and will learn nothing. And it's because they can't admit what they are. They can't admit what their problems are. The first one was a Dr. Julia Grace, if we can get that up at some point, where she says, upset about Hartlepool, we're doctors and we're taking the government's court in 10 days' time because they handed out public money like Smarties to friends and associates while NHS staff died, no PPE. We need justice. So, like, who do you think that resonates with? Like, what do you think you're doing? Like, this has nothing to do with the election. 4,000 likes. What are you doing? This is a verified checkmark on Twitter.
Yeah,
this is
doctor, campaigner.
Yeah.
There we go. So you're a lobbyist. In which case, you're probably a member of the Labour Party.
Exactly. And yet this person has got, traction, 1,500 retweets on Twitter. There's traction on social media. This is the kind of thing that they're thinking of. But this means nothing to people. Like, it's nothing. You can sue the government because they handed out public money to companies when you were demanding they handed out public money to companies. Well, I didn't want them to hand out money to companies, but you're not campaigning on my behalf, are you? But anyway, so this is the kind of, lovey that just got BTFO'd. Anyway, go to the next one. Is this, which I found amusing. The BBC just described the Tories as scooping up the UKIP and Brexit votes as a coalition of the centre-right. The centre-right. The centre-right, which is them thing. But to be honest with you, that's true. And I tell you what, one of the things that I've noticed is there have been so many articles spammed out by The Independent and The Guardian recently, where they're like, oh, well, now that Brexit's happened, the devolved parliaments are growing in strength, the UK is going to break up, and it's like, okay, well, what happens to the Labour Party if it does? It's going to be literally the English Conservatives in a one-party state, where it's just dominated by
But
the
there's
Tories.
the thing. It will split eventually, as politics does, into two camps.
Yeah.
And what the two camps going to be. None of them are going to be socialist.
Yeah, hopefully it's the traditionalists versus the Whigs, which would actually be excellent. I'd be actually very happy with that outcome. Anyway, so then we get into the calling people names segment of the Labour Cope. Saying I don't like Labour, so I'm going to vote Conservative, is like saying I don't like mashed potatoes, so I'm going to eat razors. It's like, sure, but then you say, right, okay, what are the Labour Party? It's like, they're not only eating razor blades, but they've also chopped off their own penises. So it's like, right, okay, I'm not voting for that. And they're like, hey, yeah, through the bloody mouth of razors, they're like, hi, would you like me to transition your child? And it's like, you know what? I'll just vote Tiger Patel. Thank you. Tiger Patel 2021, sorry. You can sit there and go that the Tories are people eating razors, but they're really not. The Labour Party are the party where they're like, look at this beautiful cake. You can see the razor blade just sitting out. And it's like, yeah, that probably does taste good, but I'm going to get cut in my mouth. It's like, well, yeah, there will be a few grooming gangs, or there will be, it will be
a few famines.
A few famines. You will have to accept a bunch of German-made laws.
You might have to eat your toddlers in the famine.
But we're going to give you some money, some worthless, hyperinflated money,
We'll give you some worker tokens.
Exactly, and it's like, I would rather just the Conservative Party. The next one is fantastic. Watching the majority of English people still vote Conservative at elections. Genuine question, why can't you be effing normal? That's a great question, right? And it's because, Gene McGurk, the English are not continental Europeans. The English are a separate civilization that have different values and do not do the thing that you want. End of story. They don't vote SNP, they don't vote Labour, they don't vote for continental socialism. That's what it is. They will never vote for continental socialism because fundamentally it's crap. And it always messes up wherever it goes. And yet, the sort of, the traditional, classically liberal English way of life, the sort of government away from me, leave me alone to tend my garden, run my little shop, that's a much more successful way of life, which is why, you've broken that. Which is why English is the lingua franca. It's why everyone speaks English and not French or German, because it's just a better way of doing things. So shut up, Gene McGurk. You're wrong, oh Scottish one. Sorry, Vicky.
Hashtag not all Scots, I guess.
Yeah, that's true, because 1.3 million of them voted for Brexit. And yeah. But I am morally right, so that's the important thing. Anyway, the next one is, again, people coping about the Conservatives. Tom George, I find it genuinely mind-blowing that people continue to vote for the Conservative Party in this country, a party whose MPs regularly vote against the rights of women, based people of colour, really? The LGBT community and the lower classes. It's heartbreaking. If the Conservatives had put this on a billboard, It would have been like you being like, yeah, but Boris Johnson called Muslim women letterboxes, and people are like, right, okay, vote Boris. This is an advert. This is an advert because all you've done here is list a bunch of abstract categories: women, people of color, LGBTQ. No one like really thinks of those as real things. They're abstract things. They're hypothetical, theoretical, left-wing constructions. And this is people saying, I don't want that. I want something that's tangible, that's real, that's like actually normal, that doesn't imply that my government has gone mad with socialism. That would be nice, especially with like, LGBTQ plus.
I mean, look at that there. Trending in England, socialism.
Yeah, trending exactly. Trending in England, socialism on Twitter, not with the regular public, not with normal people. No, on Twitter. But so this like I love it. I find it mind blowing that people vote for the Conservative Party in this country. Yeah, you do find it mind blowing. You have absolutely no idea why this is happening to you. I believe it. I believe that the Labour Party don't understand why they're losing. I love to see it though. I love to see it, and it's the best bit about it is literally because you obviously hate this country. You obviously hate it. Let's go to the next one. So this parody Boris Johnson account, right? This has been the most spectacular cope because obviously they're like, oh yeah, like they just sat there mocking Boris Johnson every day on Twitter. That's what they do. And they get, lots of followers and lots of subscribers. And so now it's the cope, right? So the best thing about winning Hartlepool with the 7,000 majority is I now have a concrete proof that people don't give an S how corrupt I am. So well done, Hartlepool. That's right. They don't. What's your corruption on Boris? He used money from donors to redo 10 Downing Street. Oh, thank Christ. Oh my God, I thought it was going to be something serious.
I mean, there's nothing even there yet.
Yeah.
If the donor didn't get anything in return, they just want to donate the money. There actually is no corruption. There is nothing to be said.
Sure, but I mean, let's be real about it and be like, yeah, they're not giving this money for nothing.
Yeah,
they're
it's
obviously
not
getting
been proven.
something.
Yeah,
But the point is, if that's the extent of the corruption, I'm like, oh, thank God. Because as if we don't know that the Labour Party and the Labour MPs aren't corrupt, they're busy siphoning off massive amounts of expenses anyway. At least this came from a donor. It didn't come from my pocket, did it?
Taxpayer didn't pay for it.
Unlike, Naz Shah's expenses or Jess Phillips' expenses or, David Lammy's expenses and, it's the Labour Party, like Jacob Rees-Mogg had like £3,000 in expenses,
David Lammy, what was it, 300,000?
Yeah, so 250,000, something like that. And it's like, so don't give me this crap about like, oh, they don't care how corrupt you don't care how corrupt the Labour Party is. And yes, I don't care if that's the level of corruption you have, I don't care because that's well within tolerable limits. And I think the thing that you really should be paying attention to is the fact that the Labour Party appears to be essentially a party of treason at this point. It's a party that is against the United Kingdom and the people of the United Kingdom, as we will go on to see in the next parody Boris Johnson tweet. Look at this. So they tweet out, please take our free personality test on May the 6th. Go into a voting booth, and if you find yourself voting Conservative, you know you're a selfish C. And the results of a personality test are in. Turns out there are quite a lot of C's in Hartlepool. That's right. Be angry. They didn't vote for the Labour Party, therefore they're selfish C's. What I'm not even going to say. So keep going. Just keep going. Keep berating the working class for voting for their own interests instead of Labour's abstractions. Keep doing it. And then, of course, follow up. I mean, don't stop. Like, when you're busy condemning the electorate who rejected the Labour Party, rather than trying to understand them and ask them, why has this happened to us? Why have you done this to us? Don't do that. Go to all the right-wing, racist, thick-as-pig-s numpties who used to vote for UKIP and the Brexit Party. I'd just like to say welcome home to the Conservative Party. That's like... That wins over nobody, you morons. That's, in fact, just one more straw on the camel's back. Just keep piling up these straws. That camel can't last forever. Next one is this meme picture. Boris the statesman. I am a statesman. Daddy said so. If you voted Tory, shame on you. Your reward is this. Okay, well, let's think about this. In 100 years' time, when the history books are being written, they're going to have nothing but the numbers. They're not going to have your emotional outburst. Well, they might have your emotional outburst on Twitter, admittedly, but they're going to look at the numbers and be like, wow, people really like Boris. Boris won and won again, and then won Brexit, and then won these council elections, and who knows what he's going to win in the future if the Labour Party keeps putting up socialists to oppose him. Anti-British, anti-patriots is what the Labour Party is. And Boris is like, Britain's good, lads. Boris landslide.
Yeah, I mean, for all the criticism, doesn't matter. I mean, that's the numbers. Whether you like it or
If a
not.
statesman is repeatedly winning elections, then Boris is going to be the greatest statesman of the 21st century by the end of the Labour Party's reign.
Him and Tiger Patel holding hands.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. You know, Boris Johnson's Tiger Patel victory suck it party, just landslide after landslide, and the Labour Party are like, well, you're just all bad people. It's like, shut up. Shut up, for the love of God. If you said nothing like Tiger Patel, you would have done better. I don't doubt. I honestly don't doubt, right? Next one is obviously people, I'm going to leave for New Zealand. Oh, please. Please do. Please go and leave for the newest Chinese colony in the Pacific. Like, do it. If they even allow you in, because New Zealand's on lockdown. And I notice you're not like, I'm going to move to somewhere like Eastern Europe or, you know, wherever else. You know, you're not going to South Africa.
Let me move to an Anglo-ethno state.
Exactly. You're moving to, like, the whitest, most English-speaking place that you can find that's also progressive. That also, incidentally, that exists on the guarantee of the sort of American hegemony. You know, it's not like New Zealand's defending itself. But yeah, go on, move to New Zealand. You know, and honestly, I really mean it, right? If you're a Labour voter, you're an upper middle class, you've got your degree, you've got a fair amount of money in the bank, just go. Just go. You're an insufferable prat and no one wants you here.
I'm in
just
favour
go.
of paying the flight for you.
Yeah.
We'll use government money.
Yeah, we can use government money on the proviso that you never come back. Anyway, the next one.
We're going to turn New Zealand into the Liberal camp.
Yeah. Turn New Zealand into essentially the Labour Party.
Yeah.
That's you can have it. It's like a Labour colony. And we'll see how it goes. But I love this one. Again, just rampant cope. The results show that people don't want left-wing or centrist politics, but full, fat right-wing. They'll happily suck at the teat of power and wealth and the facade that they could get there one day whilst getting effed by them, as long as others are getting effed over more. Yeah. As long as others get effed over more. But
Wait, this guy, look how he defines himself. Gay, woke, some tweets of sarcasm, some satire, British flag, EU flag.
And of course the pride flag. So I mean, I just was like, yes, Paul Morris, you should move to New Zealand. That's exactly correct. That's a great. They want full fat right wing politics, but what they mean when you say full fat right wing politics is they mean limited government. They mean being left alone, minimum taxation, minimum gibs. People treating all of the types of people in the country as if they were the same, without any favour or distinction based on their individual merit, based on the fact that they get what they deserve. That's what they're asking for. What they view to be a just system, unlike, of course, your gay woke nonsense. So, BTFO'd Paul. Let's go to the next one. David Williams. Though the official results aren't in yet, it looks as if the British electorate have signed an open check to the government to continue their unchecked sleaze, corruption and rapaciousness. If only. Well, do you think the Conservatives can do anything with this? Again, another staggering win over the Labour Party?
We have a moratorium on criticising them, but we'll be back to bullying them in 24 hours, don't you worry.
But the point is, they aren't going to do anything exciting.
Yeah. But whilst they're destroying Labour, I'll give them a pass for now.
Okay, pats on the head for the Tories.
Yeah. At least you kept the Labour from doing anything as well.
Literally running candidates that don't say a word.
What are you going to do? Literally nothing.
I'm going to stand here. I'm going to be on the swings.
But that's almost exactly what I want. I want the government to do nothing.
Yes, exactly.
Leave me alone.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, so the next one. People voting for a party that clearly doesn't give an S about them is something I'll never understand. Okay, Tim McKenna, let me explain it from the English position. We don't want the government to give an S about us. Right? We honestly don't. Because the government is like a giant incompetent ogre. And it is full of people who don't really understand what's going on, but they when it's controlled by Labour, they sit there going, oh, well, we have to do something. It's like, look, I would rather it if you did nothing. It would be, to say, oh, the government's not going to get involved. It's to say, right, the worst of the damage has already been mitigated. Now, what else can we do as just individuals and communities, right? That's exactly it. I would vote for a party that would I would literally do nothing to you for this entire 5-year reign. But, oh, fantastic. No tax hikes, no interference, no nothing.
I'll literally roll back regulation or even just do nothing.
Yeah, I'll just sit here.
Nada.
Yeah, exactly. And just make sure that things run. Oh, good. Next one. Left-wing Kim. Not having a good day. I know the Labour Party are a walking disaster right now. No, it's a lady. Ex-Labour Party member as of June 2020. Hung on as long as I could. Politically homeless for the first time in my life. Yeah, stop being in politics is what you want to do, Kim. Go do something else. I know the Labour Party are a walking disaster right now. I get it. I was a member, and yet I didn't want to vote Labour yesterday. But come on, what's it actually going to take for people to see the Tories for what they really are? Well, what really are they? because the Labour Party are class traitors and national traitors. And the Conservatives, as bad as you can paint them, are basically just dumb and greedy. So, okay, well, I'll take someone who's dumb and greedy than someone who's openly treasonous and calls me a bigot because I'm white. You know, I will take that over whatever it is the Labour Party are promoting any day of the week. I'm trying to get through these very quick. So next one. So, yes, according to Sky News, Labour's losses have been years in the making. Correct. That's a correct statement. This has been coming for a long time. Now, this is what happens when the centrists don't want the left anymore and then drive us out. They can try and blame Corbyn, but listen to us. This is down to Starmer and his snakes. If only that were true, then there would be hope for left-wing politics in the UK, but there isn't. This is the consequence, the rolling consequence, the slow-motion car crash.
They're so stuck, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a year. They're still stuck arguing about Corbyn.
Yeah. I mean, imagine putting pro-vaxxer in your bio. Pro-vaxxer. Yeah, but, like, nobody's anti-vax. Like, a small fringe of idiots in America are anti-vax. No one's anti-vax. Like, so, you know, I'm pro-driving on the left-hand side of the road. Well, who's pro-right?
Well, what people's opinions, the extreme opinions on vaccines is just it should be free choice.
Yeah.
That's the extreme opinion.
Vaccine is obviously a good thing. But anyway, this summarises the left's entire position for the last 5 years or so. And as Jonathan sarcastically points out, I can't understand where it went wrong. Britain is awful. You people are scum. Vote Labour. That's the messaging. That's been the messaging for years now. And that's why you're getting crushed. Repeatedly crushed. And it will continue.
You deserve it.
The beatings will continue until morale improves, Labour. If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.